Winnie the Pooh ban. We all love Winnie the Pooh, as he's quite friendly and a very beloved character in many parts of the world. However, China has censored images and references to him. This was because online users compared the bear's appearance to President Xi Jinping, leading to memes. I mean, seriously, it's just a harmless joke. But I guess the Chinese government didn't take that very lightly. They even considered it disrespectful. So, as a result, the friendly cartoon bear has been quietly erased from Chinese media, and people basically just pretend like it doesn't exist. Even foreigners and citizens have to abide by this law regardless. Time travel in movies. You see, movies are great, especially when a pinch of time travel is added to it. I mean, movies like The Flash or 57 Seconds are bangers for a reason. But in China, movies and TV shows showcasing time travel are heavily censored or banned. The government believes that these stories distort historical facts and encourage superstition, which is kind of weird, not gonna lie. Unlike in Hollywood, where time travel plots are common, Chinese filmmakers must avoid such themes to stay within legal boundaries. So, if you had any hopes of enjoying those banger movies there in China, you might as well reconsider. Approval before reincarnation. A law that I couldn't even believe existed. In China, this is considered one of the most unusual and controversial laws, and it applies to Tibetan Buddhist monks. If a high-ranking monk claims to be a reincarnation of a spiritual leader, they must first obtain government approval. This law was introduced to regulate religious affairs and reduce foreign influence, but it just raises questions about how one can officially authorize something as spiritual as reincarnation. No ghosts in movies. Damn, now that's a good one. Similar to the time travel in movies ban, the same applies to ghosts or basically any supernatural theme. The censorship laws in China prohibit the depiction of ghosts and supernatural beings in films, as the government believes such themes promote superstition and discourage rational thinking. So, if a Chinese horror movie features a ghost, filmmakers often have to explain it away as a dream or hallucination, kind of like a legal backdoor to still get it in. No effeminate men on TV. Seriously, the TV bans keep getting crazier. In recent years, China has banned effeminate men from appearing on television, arguing that they do not represent traditional masculinity. The government wants to promote healthy and strong male role models, which has led to censorship of celebrities and influencers who do not fit this standard. No strange architecture. You see, China banned Bizzare architecture to maintain a sense of cultural and national identity. In the past, Chinese cities were known for unusual skyscrapers shaped like teapots, pants, and even a giant toilet. However, a new regulation now ensures that all buildings must follow a more traditional and functional design. No playing video games for more than 3 hours a week. To combat gaming addiction, the Chinese government has limited online video game time for minors to just 3 hours per week. Gaming companies are required to monitor players' activity and enforce these restrictions, making China one of the strictest countries when it comes to online gaming. No wasting food in restaurants. In an effort to reduce food waste, China has passed laws that discourage ordering excessive amounts of food. Some restaurants may even charge customers a fine if they order too much and do not finish their meal. This law was introduced as part of a national campaign to encourage responsible consumption. No naming your pet after a government official. It is illegal to give your pet a name that resembles or mocks a Chinese political leader. While it might seem harmless to name a dog Chairman Meow, doing so could be considered disrespectful and lead to legal trouble. No ranking students publicly. Unlike in many countries where student rankings are openly displayed, Chinese schools are prohibited from publicly ranking students based on their grades. This law was put in place to reduce academic pressure and anxiety among children. Religious gatherings law. Religious activities in China are heavily regulated. Any religious gathering must be approved by the government, and only state-sanctioned religious organizations are allowed to operate. Unofficial religious groups risk being shut down or prosecuted. They are really strict with the religious propaganda being put out in their country. The maps law. Maps used in China must follow government-approved territorial boundaries. Using a map that does not include Taiwan as part of China, or that shows disputed regions inaccurately, could lead to legal consequences. Even foreign companies must ensure that their maps align with China's official stance. This law basically checks in with the fact that they claim Taiwan and some other regions should solely be part of China, so you might be prosecuted for going against this law. No unauthorized drones. Flying a drone in China requires government approval, especially near urban areas or sensitive locations. Tourists and vloggers must be extra careful, as unauthorized drone usage can result in fines or confiscation of equipment. So, before flying drones in China, you must have the permit and ask the necessary authorities. No gambling law. Gambling is illegal in mainland China, except for state-run lotteries in special zones like Macau, which operates as a gambling hub. Illegal gambling activities can lead to heavy fines or even jail time. So, chronic gamblers in mainland China would have to travel all the way just to get a few bans taken from them. Nah, I'll just stay at home. They might even block online gambling in some locations. Banning films. Only a limited number of foreign films are allowed to be shown in Chinese theaters each year, and they must pass strict censorship. Any content deemed politically sensitive, disrespectful to Chinese culture, or promoting Western values too strongly may be edited or banned entirely. So, the Chinese people value their culture and believe it needs to be maintained. Anything that could potentially damage their reputation or spread anti-Chinese narratives would be banned. No unapproved holidays. You see, most of us can agree that sometimes having some random holiday moments is great, especially when there is a celebration behind it. However, in China, these moments are quite limited, because some Chinese cities have discouraged the celebration of Western holidays, like Christmas and Halloween, arguing that they promote foreign influence over Chinese traditions. And this applies to schools and businesses in these areas, which may be instructed to avoid recognizing such holidays. No surveys without government permission. You see, foreign companies or researchers conducting surveys in China must obtain official permission. This law applies especially to topics related to politics, which is quite fair, honestly. But that also includes the economy and public opinion, as the government seeks to control sensitive information. No multiple house ownership in certain cities. Damn, this one is even quite shocking to me and would be a nightmare to businessmen who like real estate, because this law kinda hinders those types of stuff in China, as they are restricting how many houses individuals can buy in major cities. This policy is meant to keep housing affordable for the general population. No unauthorized use of VPNs. Although many Chinese citizens and expatriates use VPNs, or virtual private networks, to access blocked websites like Google, Facebook, and YouTube, doing so is technically illegal. Wait a sec, does this mean people in China can't watch this video? That's kinda sad. The government has cracked down on unauthorized VPN use, limiting internet freedom within the country. And not only for social media, it also applies to those who want to access foreign games or maybe just join servers with other fun countries. So if you think you can still do that there in China, you better reconsider. I think this is done to keep them within their culture and circle of knowledge. That's classic, but also quite controversial. No large gatherings without approval. Public gatherings of a certain size require government approval. Wait, government? Seriously? But I think this is more strict when it involves political discussions. Unauthorized protests and demonstrations are also strictly prohibited and can lead to immediate police intervention.